I'm very excited to be here today to talk about our new undergraduate certificate program called Digital Intelligence. Kind of as was alluded to, the big question of the certificate is trying to get students to understand how computational thinking is affecting our world, not just teaching them the important skills and the important math and computational backgrounds, but also getting them to understand how this influences our society, how this influences our policy, and how to be thought leaders when they leave and graduate and lead ethical tech. And so for those of you that don't know me, I'm David Carlson. I'm an assistant professor here at Duke, and together with Sarah Rispin Sedlak, who's also here, we are the co-directors of this undergraduate certificate. So one of the things that I think is really important to highlight is the fact that algorithms really underpin everything in modern society. We've just had a great opportunity to hear from a lot of different experts in a lot of different areas of science, how computational thinking and computational power is being included in all these different scientific applications. And we also got to hear earlier how artificial intelligence is being included in medicine. And these are really important areas where we're using computational thinking. But it's also important in things like art, which you get to hear about later today. It's important for things like all the algorithms in my car as I drove to work this morning, right? We have these self-driving cars or all these assistive technologies. These things are everywhere. And there's a lot of benefits to society, but there's also a lot of concerns. So for example, we talk about art that can be used to generate really interesting things and help be creative, but it can also be used to help generate fake news, which can be a problem when we're actually thinking about the impact of things like artificial intelligence in our society. So these kind of thoughts and background really help motivate the, as we like to call it, the DQ certificate, Digital Intelligence Certificate. And this has kind of grown over the past several years where we've been having conversations with a lot of different departments and a lot of the different people interested in computation, things like computer science, math, statistics, electrical and computer engineering, and thinking about how we can complement these existing programs with things like ethics and policy and help give our students the ability to understand how to use their tech and their skills ethically and how to impact policy. And this has been supported extensively by the new Center for Computational Thinking, right? And this is really kind of recognizing the growing need for students to be trained in the core aspects of digital intelligence, all these computational tools, and addressing directly that interdisciplinary nature, right? How do we work with algorithms, AI, data-driven research, but also be responsible for the progress of these technologies as they go out into society, right? And we really want all of these students to become thought leaders as they go out and leave Duke after graduating, right? And this is a collaborative vision with support from a lot of different deans and department chairs and a lot of different institutes across campus, and especially science and society. And so kind of the vision of what we're looking at here is we're looking at things like, how do we create a bridge? How do we bridge from the traditional computational thinking in these computational tools that come out of these majors like computer science, right? How do we allow them to have a bridge from those computational tools into humanities and social sciences and natural sciences, understanding the societal impacts of what they are learning about and what they are going to go out and do? And conversely, we want to be able to bridge from the humanities and social sciences and natural sciences and offer them a pathway for gaining working computational skills, right? How do we actually imbue what we're working on with computation and use that in our workflow? And this allows us to kind of combine both of these and give a lot of ethics and policy guidance. In addition to creating this bridge between these disciplines, we're also very excited that this is a wayfinder to other programs. We have a lot of interesting and exciting efforts across Duke related to these topics, right? Things like innovation and entrepreneurship, the Keenan Institute for Ethics, amongst many other institutes. This is a very booming area of Duke. So one of the things that I wanted to do is kind of go through our vision for what this certificate requires. So in order to graduate the certificate and get credit for it, the students need to have accomplishments in 6 areas. So one of the things that we've been working on building, and this has been led by Sarah Rispin Sedlak, is this core class. And this core class introduces both concepts in computational thinking, but also has a lot of discussions about its impact in society. and thinking about how do we use these texts ethically, right? And so this is really exciting because it's a flipped classroom where before class, we take advantage of all of these modules that have been built, and we interview experts from all over the university. And then during class, we can have a lively discussion about these technologies and their pros and their cons and their issues and what they are doing in society. And then we can use the after class period to really kind of reinforce what we've learned. And this is a really exciting area that's already got a number of students enrolled in it and is set up very well by our educators. In addition to this core class, we require 4 different elective areas. So things like computational thinking, actually learning some of the basic computational tools that are necessary, a class in ethics and policy, a class on communication in the digital age. How do we use modern tools to communicate effectively? And also computation and practice. How do we take these algorithms, these computational tools, this computational thinking, and actually use them in an application domain? And finally, building on top of all of this, we have a capstone that's really building on the strengths that the students have gained through all of these requirements, and do this in a final project and really embody the full breadth of knowledge that they've gained to think about how computational thinking is actually impacting our world. And one of the things that I'm most excited about is how well this certificate has been designed to build on top of existing programs. At Duke, we've made a lot of efforts to create programs related to data science and computational thinking all over the university. This has been involved with things like IID and their efforts in Data Plus. Also programs like Code Plus, where we're getting opportunities for our students to go in and do real world projects and gain experience. In addition, I've personally been heavily involved in the Duke Plus Data Science Initiative, where we've been creating educational resources and educational modules for the students, things like online course content, such as a Coursera course, also intensive workshops for a few days on specific topics, and also a lot of symposiums monthly. So we offer a few lectures monthly where we offer particular topics in data science. So these students can actually go and find the particular topics that they're very interested in. And we actually designed the program to specifically leverage all this material that's been built, not just in Plus Data Science, but in other efforts like the Roots CoLab and other efforts across the university, so they can actually use co-curricular options to satisfy this computation in practice. And what this allows is we can facilitate our students to choose from a smorgasbord the things that are most relevant to their degree and most relevant to their interests in order to set them up to succeed when they leave Duke and gain all of this knowledge, right? And there's a lot of details here on how well we actually implement this, but that's kind of the big structure here. And so just as a final closing point, we're very excited about this new certificate. We already have a number of students enrolled. It's built on a lot of things that have already been going on at Duke, using our co-curricular modules and our courses that we've built across Duke, our internship programs, things like Data Plus, Code Plus, and it's set up to be scalable so that we can allow as many students as are interested to build these skills. Thank you so much for your attention.